what you mean surrendering. Okay, I see you. B Go Brown One. What's good? I hope you're having a good night. My people on TikTok, I see you still with me. Elevate your mind. Okay, OCG, I see you. First step at 55, you start. Look, that's what's up. You're never too old to stop learning. And when you got your goals, when you know what you want to achieve, you know what you want to do, you started your doctorate program yesterday. Look, that means that's a great thing. That means you have lived a lot of life and you realize you still had ambitions, you still had things that you want to go ahead and accomplish. Go on ahead and make them goals happen. I love seeing that. I love seeing that. And I hope you serve as an inspiration for so many others. Miss Yolanda, I see you out there. I hope you're good. I hope you're watching. I hope you're joining Mr. Tony. I see you up here too. Holla at your boy. If you don't know me, my name is Tyran Jackson. I am a speaker. I speak a lot about resilience, overcoming life's obstacles, what it is to be a Black man going through mental health challenges or have gone through mental health challenges or still need to understand that it's important to be vulnerable and authentic out here in this world when the world is so hard and you got to be able to overcome the challenges that you face. I also talk about what it means to pivot in life. For those who didn't know, I spent 20 years as an engineer thinking that was what I was supposed to do and what my purpose was in life. And life threw me a curveball that I wasn't expecting. And like I said, I ain't going into the whole story tonight, but I did just briefly went on vacation with my former wife to celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary. We had a horrible incident, not an accident, an incident. And as a result of that incident, I lost my wife. I lost my left leg. I lost part of my will to live. I lost my hope in what my future would be. I had so many things that were taken away from me. I lost part of my sanity. I lost my short-term memory. I don't talk about this too often, but I went 6 months without really being able to remember conversations that I would have with people 5 minutes after I had them. So that was a realization because when you're so used to being the person people call on to remember information and to be able to, you know, help figure out solutions to problems, and you can't even remember what you're talking about, that's an issue. Um, but I've been blessed enough to be able to recover from those things. I feel like I went through a journey that was destined, that was really heaven sent, and part of the plan for me to rediscover. I like to use that word, rediscover who I really was and am. And it created a transformation. So the Tyran Jackson that you see today is not the Tyran Jackson that was here 6 years ago. It's Tyran Jackson 2.0, 3.0. I'm probably about 4.0 right now on how many changes I've made on the past couple of years. Hey, what's going on, my girl Abakar? What's going on? I see you all over the world. You be in Chicago, you be in London, you be everywhere. Look, I hope life is treating you well, and I see you doing your thing. So it's good to see you this evening. To my people on YouTube, look, feel free to reach out. For those of you who don't know, my business and my platform is called Reborn Resilient. If it wasn't for me going through what I went through, I wouldn't understand the power resiliency had over my life. And if it wasn't for me going through what I went through, I was reborn as a result of a tragic accident that occurred that caused me to have to look at life differently and adapt and adjust in real time with a lot of, look, I can be real right now. A lot of shit happened that I went through. A lot of, I learned a lot about how people really can be and are. Those who love you, those who say they love you, those who really want to leverage you, those who want to do a lot of different things along the way, and truly, really want to just be able to, um, be myself, be real, but not only that, but also help other people who are going through challenges in the world and in life. So what I'm doing tonight, it is Wednesday. Wednesday is the day that I talk about resiliency and what it truly means to be resilient. If you follow me on social media, you'll see on every Wednesday I have a Resilient Wednesday post where I talk about something. My post for the day, I'm gonna read it to you all so you understand sort of what this is all about. Miss Marcella, I see you on TikTok. You're checking me out. Hey, I'm trying to get myself back into my groove and everything. I know I've been away for a little bit. I want people to want to connect with me, to get to know me a little bit, to learn a little bit about what my mission is with Reborn Resilient, what I want to do, because I want to help people pull out that strength, find the strength within. And once you find that strength within yourself, you can overcome life's obstacles and what you're facing and what your challenges are. So just be mindful that, the adversity that we face, the pain that we go through is not always something that's going to fully define us. It's something that is intended. It is intended for us to have to face what we have to go through and what we have to, endure in order to get through the challenge so we can get to the other side and become who we're supposed to be. With that said, I was talking about my Resilient Wednesday message, and it went like this today. It was rise, refocus, and remind yourself that no goal is out of reach. The strength to begin is already within you. Let's ignite it and make it today unstoppable. Now, I want to talk about this. I like a little bit of alliteration. If you notice, I try to put a little bit of that in a lot of the things that I say, in a number of the things that I say. Ms. Marcella, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel good that I'm being able to be a human sunshine to somebody. And so I hope to continue doing that. But really what I wanted to get on here and talk about, it is January the 8th. And a lot of us may have had very optimistic goals for ourselves as we started off this new year. And depending on how we have, how life has happened to this point, we may be questioning or we may be struggling to meet those objectives, those things that we have in mind. I set goals, and I'm still setting goals for the year. I haven't gotten everything that I wanted to, but I try to set goals from a professional standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, from a health standpoint, from a spirituality standpoint, from an overall impact standpoint. And so, excuse me, that doesn't always, it isn't just me sitting down for 30 minutes and doing it. Sometimes I have to be in the right space, the right mindset to really lay out and define what that means. It doesn't always mean just writing something down. And here's what I don't want to do, because I'm going to talk about it, like I said, a couple of things. We're early in the year. Goals are a hot topic and something easy for us to be able to gravitate towards. But one of the things that I've learned is that as a, I say a former engineer, I still look at things from a numbers and data and analytical perspective. And one of the most specific things that I see is that to be able to have something that we want to achieve, that for me, if I can track it with some specificity, and you'll hear people talk about set specific goals, I think it has to have a number to it that I can measure against. What gets measured gets monitored. And so one of the things that I think is important is if you are actually putting some numbers to what you're really trying to do. I want to grow my speaking from a profitability standpoint 3 times this year. Now, I won't go into what that number looks like, but what that means is for me to speak more from a corporate standpoint, hustle and work to get all the engagements that I need to get in order to be able to pull in the revenue that I need to pull in to be able to achieve that number. And so, that's better than me saying, look, I want to be on stage more. I want to speak more. Yeah, that's general. That is, but to say that I need to get, look, I got a target as far as my number. I need somebody to be either cutting a check or ACH in some deposit or payment for me to speak 75 times this year. Now let's do the math there. That's about 6 times a month or whatnot for me to be able to get to where I want to get to. And so I've got some pretty lofty goals there. And that's just saying the times where there is revenue involved, because sometimes there won't be, but there's opportunity there. So anyway, I look at it from that perspective that I need to reach a certain number. For me to reach a certain number, I have to do a certain amount of things in order to make sure that I am, one, being seen by the right people doing what I'm doing and being able to uplift and raise and help others. And then 2, that I'm doing the right things to be able to attract, go out and grab the people who need to be aware of who I am, what I'm doing, and how I'm making an impact in this world. So that's part of it. That is part of it. And one of the things that go along with that is something like this: for more and more people to become familiar with who Tyran Jackson is, what I've done, and who I'm looking to really help and change the lives of. So to my people on TikTok, I appreciate you being involved. Say what's up. Say hey. I hope that you all come through for a second, at least say hi. And if you got a question, feel free to reach out. To my people out here on IG, I see the Master Strategist has joined. What's going on? I hope that all is well. Thank you for spending a little time with me this evening. To my people on YouTube, like I said, some of the time I'm buttoned up, I'm clean. I get, very professional. And now you called me on a Wednesday night, and I said, okay, let me just go on ahead and turn on my cameras, my webcam, my iPad, got my phone going. I got a couple of different streams going at the same time. And so I'm looking at different directions. I know it looks crazy, but at the same time, I'm trying to be able to reach out to be able to talk a little bit and just be able to share a couple of my thoughts. And also, you know, if you got questions that I can answer, I'm happy to do so. Um, let's see, what else am I looking to do? For those of you who don't know, I also help other people who are looking to start speaking. I was not supposed to be a speaker. Like I said earlier, I was an engineer. I thought that was what I was supposed to be doing or going to be doing for the rest of my life. You know, sometimes we can be pulled in different directions. Sometimes we have to be pushed, and sometimes we're just, you know, meant to be do certain things. And I was asked to speak about my situation, which led me into learning more about speaking, which led me say, okay, if I want to do this, I want to do it at a high level. Let me learn how to do it. And so, so that's one of the things that, you know, sometimes we might get pulled in that direction. Let's see, Master Strategist, I see you that with this question. How did you choose the topics you speak on? So here's what I like to say about that. That is a very good question. For those of you who are speaking or thinking about speaking or want to speak, very good question here. Um, I think that the topic should come from whatever your expertise is, meaning something that you know very well and something that people come to you about. It should also be something that you have experience with. And I like to use the term experiential learning. And really, that is partly the things that we go through in life and those lessons that aren't in a textbook, that don't really come from um, interacting with a ton of people, but really come through our journeys of what we've overcome. And so, like I talked about earlier, I speak about resilience. I speak about overcoming life's obstacles. I speak about grief and grief recovery because I had to deal with a lot of that. Now, these are things that in going through it, and here's one thing I want to touch on that I hear people and I see people, common interest. I see you in the building on both my IG and my TikTok. What's good, my brother? I appreciate it. Look, I still remember my talk and what we did it seems like a couple months ago, but it might have been a year ago or so. Um, it was a while ago. It was definitely a while ago. Um, anyway, we get into the whole influential you. I love the mindset. I love the mentality. I love where we are there. And you know, I'm trying to get out of my get out of who I once was. The engineer in me was once one of those who wanted to accomplish tasks all the time. I moved more into a performer, and I get more and more in that capacity. So anyway, uh, look, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support and the love. Um, anyway, Miss Lovely Lady T, how you doing tonight? Um, so where I was going with this is the topics that you talk about. I think you need to be very, very knowledgeable, and people come to you about something, and you have a unique perspective and expertise on something, or it can be something that you've experienced and you've actually taken the time to process it and learn the lessons that you can be able to teach and empower others on. Now, a lot of people just go through life and they get through things, and yeah, I'm blessed to get through it, but they don't take the time to go back and understand, what did I really learn, to reflect and be able to extract, pull out what the real lessons were and the how. That's the secret. That's the secret. If you can explain the how, and that's where I think I am one of my superpowers, one of my gifts, one of the things that I'm blessed with. And this is why I'm a unique type of speaker and coach, because the engineer in me was very process oriented, very structured. And so I always look at things from the standpoint of, how did I do that, or how was that done? And try to break it down into smaller pieces. And that's a good transition into goals and actions and trying to reach our greatest desires. Um, so if we can break down, not just getting to the other side of what we've gone through our experiences in life, but if we can break down the how, and I look at the how from this standpoint, it might not apply to everybody, but if it can apply to 80% of the people, on that process, then that's pretty good. And so if you can look back at what you've gone through when it relates to, in my case, get over the loss of my spouse, having to deal with that heartbreak and that grief and to move forward, to deal with so many different obstacles. For those of you who don't know, I'm an amputee. I had to learn how to walk again with a prosthetic leg. This is one of the things that, mentally I was fragile and broken, and having to figure out how I was going to get confidence and regain control of my life again was one of the things that was really hard for me to do. But when you go back and you reflect as to what were those things that were making you stronger, that were keeping you going, mentally, I went through depression, anxiety, survivor's remorse, all of these different things that I didn't think would be a part of what my life was supposed to be. And then I look at, okay, I didn't know the value of it at the time, but I started journaling and I started writing out how I felt. And that was one of the small steps that was helping me be able to process what was going on. This is one of the things that we don't always do is take that time with ourselves to be able to reflect on our thoughts and emotions. I was a person who withheld my emotions and didn't really understand how to use those. I had a very good lunch yesterday with a gentleman. He's part of my NSA chapter, an older gentleman. His name is Dr. David Ryback. And we had a great conversation in regards to EQ, emotional intelligence, and really what that means to be aware of how your emotions affect your decision making, affect the way that you operate and function, the way that you deal with relationships with others, and not only being aware of your own emotions, but the emotions of others and factoring that in. And now he's an expert in this. He went into a little bit of the neurological aspects of it. For me, I looked at it from my perspective. I had to become more emotionally aware and understanding in order to be able to deal with all the pain I was facing. My emotions were a roller coaster. I go from being sad at the fact that my wife was gone and the fact that my life was going to be different and didn't know at that time if I'd ever walk again, to a place of having hope and optimism that something was going to happen to make things a little bit better. My friend Kara, it's good to see you. I see you on IG. And so it's good to see you this evening. I am just up here talking and rambling a little bit, but not just rambling. I am talking about, I wanted to get the goals and a couple of good things related to it because it is January the 8th. We are 1 week into the new year. I don't know how many people have made resolutions. I don't necessarily make resolutions, but I do believe in setting realistic goals to be able to make the most out of prepping for where we want to get to in our year. One of the quotes that I like to use all the time when I speak is everywhere we got in life, our mind got there first. That means we have to be able to look at and visualize where we want to get to and understand that there is a process, there is a method, there is a how, there is a solution on what we need to do, but we need to be able to break that down into smaller steps, smaller chunks that are achievable. And so that gets us to where we are. I appreciate you, Kara. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And for everybody else out there, I hope that you all are getting something of value out of this. And if you don't know me or you want to connect with me, look, I'm an easy person to reach, even though, like I said earlier, some people think I'm unapproachable. Some people think that I am intimidating. Some people feel a certain type of way about the way that I carry myself, and that it may make people not want to reach out as much. But look, I am a pretty open book. I will share a lot of things about myself. I will answer questions. I will do a lot of different things to just to be real. And I see you, Marcella. You're talking about. Can I elaborate more about the discussion on emotional intelligence? Yeah, give me a few moments. I'm gonna come back to that. But yeah, there were. Well, I'll say this. There are a lot of us out there who may not have emotional awareness, and without that emotional awareness, you just start like I said, you don't realize the impact of your emotions are having on your life. And you see this in situations where people just snap, people pop off on others, people don't know how to interact relationally with other people. And a lot of times we may have things that can increase our stress level. We may have things that get us out of our normal equilibrium, our comfort zone of what we're doing. And it can cause us to react irrationally. And so being able to steady yourself in times of chaos is something that is, I think, a powerful thing. I definitely come across as a confident but humble and approachable. I am. Much respect. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Uh, Miss Darren Walker, I see you. Brother, I see you. Hey, thank you so much. And I apologize for my people on IG. I got my phone tilted sideways, so you might see me do like that a little bit just to be able to read. For those on YouTube, you're straight ahead. YouTube, you're straight ahead on me. So I may be looking straight into you, and my people on IG over here. I see my boy Dre Davis. What's good, Dre? I hope you're good, man. I know we've been meaning to connect for a minute, man. I've been kind of in hiding. I do this from time to time where I sort of isolate myself and start to make plans on what my next, not only will say my next moves are, but just to further execute my current moves. One thing about me that I used to do a long time ago, and I'm gonna do some more of this in the future. I used to play chess a lot, and that was a very, for those of you who do play, that is a very strategic game. I think it helps enhance your strategic thinking ability and being able to look at things not just where you are in the moment, but a couple of moves, a couple of steps ahead. Yeah, I appreciate it, Dre. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And yeah, I do. At some point, we do need to connect, just outside and everything. So that'll happen. But anyway, I do think that preparing yourself to be able to look ahead to what's ahead and what's next in your life is important. For those who didn't know, one of the things that I'm doing more and more now, you'll see articles and newsletters that I'm putting out on LinkedIn. And if you're on my email list, you should be getting them too. But if you're not on my email list, this is a plug right now. Feel free to go to rebornresilient.com. And if you go there, you'll see a pop-up that'll give you the opportunity to put in your information. You'll start getting some information directly from me on a regular basis. And if not there, you can also go to choosingresilience.net. That is where my flagship book, Choosing Resilience, All Things Work Together for Good, where you can find it. But if you just go to the site and you plug in your information, you'll be able to get connected with me on everything, even though you may not see what I'm doing on LinkedIn, or you may not see what I'm doing on IG, or you may not see what I'm doing in the Facebook groups that I'm in. But anyway, I see you, Siobhan. Do your thing. Take care. Look, tell Dante I still owe him. I still got to get with him. I know I got a lot of things going on. I know it's all love. So anyway, y'all have a good night and be easy. Anyway, let's see, what am I talking about? I was talking about emotional intelligence and part of the conversation that I had. And just so some people who are in the psychotherapy space who really understand in a lot of detail as to how we react as humans, can give you a great deal on how that emotional intelligence drives the way that we live our lives. And so one of the things that we can do is we can better become in tune with who we are and when our emotions start to spike. For me, it means a lot because, and I share this with part of my story, shortly after I was going through the emotional roller coaster of losing my wife and having to accept what my reality was going to be like, I was unstable. I went through a period of time where my emotions, where I was, regularly a calm, collected, pretty cool dude. For those of you who I just had my fraternity. We just had our Founders Day, Kappa Alpha Psi. What up, yo? For those who are out there. But when I was pledging, when I was doing my thing, my name was Cool Breeze because I was the coolest breeze you ever see. And I was able to be cool in times of adversity, in times of challenge, times of struggle, all of these great things. Look, I'm talking now, but I say that to say that it's one thing to be cool when you can control what's going on, what's happening. But when you deal with chaos beyond what you're accustomed to, then can you still be able to manage those emotions and be relaxed and be able to process and think clearly? And that is a function of how our emotions and how we're able to manage those emotions are. Now, some of us aren't fully aware of our emotions. Some of us, we disguise our emotions in certain ways. Anger is a way of disguising a lot of different things. Sometimes some people, they only like to show a stoic nature where they don't know how to smile. You see people mean mugging and all. Look, you don't know if they're happy, they sad, they mad, because that's the only look that they have. Now, what's going on the inside of them? We may not know. Mr. Chuck, what's going on? I'm glad to see you joining me tonight. Um, but you know, that's a whole nother thing. And what I realized is as I was going through my journey of being rebuilt into the person who I am now, I realized I had more emotions than what I was aware of, and I understood that I had to tap into those to become who I needed to be in order to live and function in the life for what I have now. So um, hopefully, I appreciate that. You say that's a word. I appreciate that. But look, and we can go on that a whole nother time. Look, I've been up here saying I was going to talk about goals and something else. I've been up here for talking for 25 minutes. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Tyran Jackson. I'm based out of the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia. What's good, Shouty? For those who don't know, I am not from Atlanta. I am from Alabama, originally born and bred. So I'm a country boy, a Southern boy, and I've been a couple of different places, but ATL is home for me, and you know it probably will be for quite a while. So let the spirit lead. I feel you. I feel you. I'm gonna let the spirit lead, but I'm gonna talk about a couple of quick things. Talk about a couple of quick things, and then I'm gonna call it a night because it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast where we are right now, where I am, and so I'm just gonna talk about a couple of things that I think are so important for being able to meet your goals, your objectives, what you're looking to do in 2025, and really for life and beyond. One of the things I want to talk about having clear goals, being realistic with yourself. Don't be that person. Look, we need to dream big. I understand we need to dream big, but we need to set our goals in reality. We need to look. Don't be making $30,000 this year and thinking you're gonna be making 3 million in a year. If you hadn't figured out how to be able to take those steps to just increase those things, you know, in a smaller portion, you know, it's going to take some big things for it to even, you know, multiply 2, 3-fold, let alone go 100-fold. So I do believe that we need to be mindful and realistic from the standpoint because really what that does, here's what it can do for you. If you don't achieve your goals, you start to feel bad about yourself. You start to feel like you are a failure and a disappointment. And I don't have a problem with failing, but I would love to be able to fail knowing that I came close to what I was going for. And sometimes we can get so discouraged that we don't even take the time to see it through. I was meeting with some of my accountability group. I got this great account. I got a lot of people who I am accountable with, and that I do things. And really, that's one of the things I provide for others. If you're interested in it, to learn about how to be more accountable in order to reach your goals. Um, but within my accountability group, this particular accountability group, um, we talked a little bit about goals, but we talked about how we need to keep our focus clear and narrow and not be distracted by doing too many different things because all that's going to do is lessen the likelihood of you getting one great thing done. I'm going to say that again. Let's keep our focus narrow, and we need to make sure that we keep our goals and our objectives limited to a couple of things, not too many different things. Because if we're doing too many different things, we're less likely to get the one great thing done. And so what I want to do is I want to, like I said in the beginning, my word of the year is elevate. I want to elevate as a speaker. I want to elevate as a life coach for others. I want to elevate in the way that I'm impacting people and changing their lives. And so that can be general, but at the same time, I know that I need to not let every other thing that can pop up in life pull me away and distract me in ways that it could, but it should not. So, so I've got to be really, really focused on being intentional on the people who I'm going to help, on how I'm going to help them get through the challenges that they're facing, but not just help them get through the challenges, but get to the place of the clarity that's needed in order for them to take that first step. I'm working with people to help them get their voices out there, being able to take their message and being able to find the right stages, the right opportunities, the right people who may want their message, that type of thing. That is something, but a lot of times people are reluctant to go for the help or ask for the help or think they got an idea on how to do it, but really don't have a clear plan. Bringing light to that plan, to that process, providing some clarity is something I think that is important and that I really strive to do. And look, if you're one of these people who need to get some clarity, maybe just another perspective on how to do something, feel free to reach out to me, because look, I meet with people all the time and talk through their challenges. Sometimes we are so in the weeds of our own life that we don't even understand where we're trying to get to because we can't see past those bushes. But one of the things that I've experienced and learned and understand is that I am able to help some people, to help a lot of people. And if I can't help you, then I understand. It's all good. But there's nothing worse than just being stagnant and being stuck in the same place that you were a year ago, in the same place you were 3 years ago, the same place you were 5 years ago, and not doing anything real about it to change it or make it better. So, you can have all these thoughts and ideas in your head, but if you aren't taking the steps and moving forward in the right direction, then you are not making it happen. So with that, look, I am going to get ready to sound off. If you got any questions, comments, if you got something you want to share with me, feel free to do so. My people on YouTube, if you're listening, if you're watching, feel free to continue to follow me. You can find me at Tyran Jackson Official or Tyran Jackson on any platform. You can visit my site, rebornresilient.com, and learn a little bit more about what I do, how I do it, who I help, and what my message is in order to help people get past the trauma, tragedy, transition, or really make the transformations that they need in life in order to be triumphant. I help those get clarity on their message and be able to take their message out there to the world and get somebody to cut a check for it. And then I also do that myself. And so what I plan to do a little bit more frequently, a little bit more often, you will see me pop up on these IG, these TikTok, these YouTube streets, and just start talking about what I realize is important for us to be able to implement resiliency within our lives and be able to advance and elevate to the levels that we're supposed to. I hope that if you got any thoughts or feedback, I'm approachable. Feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to be able to hear from you. I'd love to be able to interact with you. I'd love to be able to learn and break bread virtually with any of you. So this I hope this has been worthwhile. I hope this has been good. To my people on TikTok, thank you for listening. Miss Kimberly, I see you on here. I hope that you're doing well. I look forward to connecting with you and to anybody else that's out there. Let's see. To my people on YouTube, look, I need to build my platform up. You're gonna see a lot more of me out there. And then to my people on IG, thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. I may try to make this a regular Wednesday thing, but don't be surprised if you just see me pop up at times. I appreciate your time, your energy, your questions. And yes, Mr. Art Real Estate, thank you, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a fan of yours. And look, my purpose is what's driving me. A lot of times, that's a whole nother thing. I talk about how my pain led to me finding my purpose. I don't want people to feel like you have to go through a significant level of pain to find your purpose, but there are steps that we can take in order to understand what our purpose is and being able to learn how to apply that and implement it in our lives. And that's going to be a topic for another day and another time. But nonetheless, feel free to check me out. Message me, DM me, visit rebornresilient.com. I hope that you have gotten something that made you feel a little bit better about today. My boy Mike Sutherland, how you doing, man? It's good to see you out on here, man. Hope you're doing good. Happy New Year. For everybody else, it's been a pleasure to be a part of just doing something this evening. It just turned on the camera and saying I was gonna get on here and talk about. And look, I had 5 points I want to talk about goals for 2025, and I barely got it in 2 of them. So that means I'm gonna have to get back on here more and do a little bit more. Thank you, Marcella. I appreciate you. As always, look, I got more people joining on Instagram now. Now that I'm getting ready to shut it down. What's going on, Sean? How you doing? I see you. I hope that you're well. And on YouTube, I hope that everybody out there is getting a little something out of it. But don't be surprised. You'll see more of your boy Tyran Jackson up here talking a little bit more about resilience, about reality, about what it means to have to figure life out after setbacks and challenges, how to overcome those obstacles, some of the specific steps that you can do today, tomorrow, next week in order to be able to keep things going. And so, so feel free to reach out to me. I am a real person. You might see my smile, you might see my pictures, you might see the other things. Look, I'm up here trying to live my best life and help others find theirs. And so I hope to be able to connect with you all. My people on IG, thank you for your time this evening. And don't be strangers. Feel free to reach out if I can do anything for you, or we need to sit down, we need to have us a talk. Like I said, with everybody. Look, you can, I'm not that hard to find. We can have a virtual meeting and we can talk, and I can learn more about, what you're doing and how I can help serve you. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. I need to get with Gabriel. I know it's been a minute since he and I have gotten together, but we're due. But anyway, I hope that you're good and Happy New Year. So anyway, I'm about to sign off for the night. It's been a pleasure. Don't be surprised to see me pop up again sometime soon. Anyway, everyone be blessed, take care, and have a great evening. TikTok, I appreciate y'all. Oh, and my YouTube, let me go ahead and end the stream.